Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Face the Expert series by Dr. Batras, where we provide you health solutions at your fingertips. Thank you for logging in today and registering for the webinar. This is the second of our series of webinars, the first one being on skin-related problems. So let me start this Wednesday with some fun but real facts on hair. Did you know that a whole head of hair could actually support up to 2 tons? Did you know that the largest amount of hair was insured for $1 million by a football star, Troy Polamalu? Did you know that a typical human hair would grow up to 590 miles in its entire timeline? Did you know that Asian hair types have the fastest hair growth? And did you know that baldness would be related to heart disease? Well, we all know that hair is the fastest growing tissues in our body and the highest growing issue with ourselves. None of us are spared by hair loss, and we all experience it every now and then. It's important here to note that hair is just a manifestation of what is happening in our internal systems, and hence hair loss is only a mirror of what could be not so right happening within our bodies. So here's presenting to you a webinar, Hair Loss, Get to the Root, where you can interact live with our expert, ask your question, and get tips. The expert that we have today with us is an international trichologist. He is a member of the European Hair Research Society, the past president and the governing councillor of the Trichological Society London, and the man behind training all the doctors on the panel of Dr. Batras. Let me present to you Dr. Akshay Batra. But before we start answering all the questions, let me just tell you once more how you can go about this entire webinar. In case you haven't asked your question for the day, please put in your details, click on the submit button and send us your question. We will ensure that we will answer all your questions today. And just in case we fall short of time, we will ensure that we answer all your questions individually, which would be supervised by Dr. Akshay Batra. So before we start answering all the questions today, can I request Dr. Akshay Batra to address all of us on hair loss as a general concern which we all face on a regular basis?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Prachna. I must say that you sound like a hair expert yourself.
Thank you.
For all the lovely trivia that you've given us. I think what you've highlighted correctly is that hair is a very interesting subject. And especially for me, it has a lot of interest, but also for a lot of other people. I think what I'd like to share is that even though hair seems cosmetic, it's actually much more than that. We know hair is social. Hair has a lot of social importance. I can give you some very simple and easy examples. Young boys who want to look older to get into discos and pubs like to grow a mustache. So that's where the hair helps them. And old men who want to look younger also want more hair on their head, perhaps because they also want to get into the same clubs and pubs as the young boys. So hair is social, but on a serious note, hair does affect people socially. Studies have shown that divorce rates are higher for balding men. Studies have also shown that people have not been chosen for sales and marketing jobs, those who are balding. So it's a social problem. It's also emotional because a lot of people who are having hair loss feel less confident about themselves. They feel that they look older than their age. They feel less attracted to the opposite sex. But what's important about hair is that hair is medico-legal. And trichologists like myself who've studied in the UK actually have given expert witness in courts where hair has been a part of the testimony for criminal as well as civil cases. And most importantly, I'd like to say that hair loss is medical. And hair loss is almost always because of an internal cause, which is where we come in, which is where we step in. Many patients come to us with hair loss, and we are the ones who actually find out that there's an underlying cause because of which the hair is falling. Very common underlying causes are anemia. A lot of women in India particularly, we find that at least 60% of women coming to us for treatment have low iron levels, which is the reason for the hair loss. Polycystic ovaries, again in young women, hormonal problems, thyroid imbalances. So these are the causes for hair loss. Hair loss is not cosmetic, it's a medical issue. And what's important is to understand the underlying medical cause for the hair loss and treat that accordingly, which is when you get success in treating the hair loss. I'd like to now talk to you about a few common hair problems. I'm going to cover 3 common hair problems today before we start taking the questions. The first common hair problem is what we know as male pattern baldness. The correct name for that is androgenetic alopecia, or AGA. Androgen being the hormone, genetic being genes, and alopecia being hair loss. So as you can understand, this type of hair loss, male pattern hair loss, is caused because of hormones, it is caused because of genes, and that's what gives rise to the hair loss. As you know, the hair starts to go in an M pattern, so the men usually start to recede from the two temples, and the hairline starts to go back, and eventually what you're left with is only hair at the back of the head, and you lose all the hair on the top of your scalp. Now what's interesting is that about 30% of people in their 30s experience this type of hair loss, and when you get to your 40s it goes to about 50%. So this hair loss really escalates between the age of 30 to 40, although now we've been seeing even younger patients who are about 25 experiencing this type of hair loss. It will start with excessive hair fall. You'll start to notice more hair in the shower, and eventually you'll start to see your hairline recede, and that's what happens. Typically and earlier, androgenetic alopecia was linked to the mother side of the family, but now it's linked to both. So studies have shown that either your mother's side or your father's side, anybody in the family has it, you have a higher chance of developing male pattern hair loss. There are lots of treatments available. There's a vast spectrum of treatments, right from instant to permanent. Homeopathy forms the baseline of treatment for us, on which we then add various other treatments, and at the end of the spectrum is hair transplants. We'll come a little more about the treatments during the question answers. What I'd also like to say is that there is, in women, this hair loss manifests a little differently. There are two primary causes for this type of hair loss in women. One is hormonal, where conditions like polycystic ovaries cause this hair loss, and the second is when the woman gets menopausal. That's the time that you kind of see this hair loss more. How this manifests in women, the signs and symptoms are women start to lose hair from all over the scalp, you notice excessive hair fall, but really you notice a Christmas tree pattern, or you notice a variety in the parting. So the parting hair loss is what defines this kind of hair loss for women. Women do not lose hair like men, even though the condition is the same. So while men bald completely, women are not known to bald completely, and women are known to thin out and have a diffuse type of hair loss. Again, for women, treatments can be very good. Treatments can range from homeopathy to instant solutions to cover the patches, to various options, which again, like I said, will come in later when we take the question answers. The other type of hair loss is something called telogen effluvium, and this is characterized by excessive hair fall. So this is where you see a lot of hair falling, and the 2 or 3 typical causes for this hair loss are thyroid. So when you have a thyroid imbalance, this type of hair loss accentuates. The second very common reason is crash dieting. Now everybody wants a size 0 figure, everybody wants to look like a film star, because of which they don't eat well, they go on crash diets. Losing weight is good, but losing it the right way is very important. And therefore you must not compromise too much on your diet. You need a minimum amount of calories. Hair is one of the fastest growing organs and cells of the body, and therefore to nurture it and to nourish it, you need to eat well. So you can lose weight without crash dieting, and crash diet gives rise to a lot of excessive hair loss. The other common reason for this kind of hair loss again can be post-delivery. So very often after women deliver, or while they're pregnant rather, they notice that their hair is flowing and the skin is glowing. But as they lose, as they deliver, they start to lose a lot of hair. So that again is one more common reason for this kind of condition. And of course anemia, which again is very, very important. Like I mentioned earlier, 60% of women in India, in my experience, have low iron levels, because of which they lose a lot of hair. The third common type of hair loss which we see is called alopecia areata, which is the medical term, and the easy term for it is hair loss in patches. So we find hair loss happening in patches. Patches can come up anywhere on the scalp. They can also come up anywhere on the body. So you might find men with patches on the beard, you might find people with patches on the arms. In severe conditions, this hair loss even can lead to complete hair loss from the body, including your eyebrows and eyelashes. While this is a severe type of hair loss, it can be treated extremely well, and all the hair can come back. It does take time, it's a difficult thing to treat, but results can be very, very good, and we particularly have seen some very good results for this type of hair loss with homeopathy. So these are the common types of hair loss that I would like to discuss today. There are about 40 different types of hair loss. Perhaps we'll get into them another time. But these three form the mainstay of hair loss conditions, at least that we see in practice.
Thank you, Dr. Akshay. That was revealing, considering that hair loss is a medical problem and not cosmetic. We all somewhere know it, but to really get it from an expert is great. So I think we have tons of questions coming in. We'll ask you the first question of the day. So it comes from Mr. Dikpal Chauhan from Indore. He says, I would like to know how I can stop my hair fall.
Okay. Mr. Chauhan, thank you for your question. It's an interesting question because that's what I'm commonly asked also when I meet people. I'd like to state two things here. The first is that hair loss can never stop. We all shed skin, although we can't see it. And similarly, we shed hair. It's just that we see the hair loss, which is why we sometimes get alarmed. A normal hair loss of about 50 to 60 strands a day is normal. If you're losing anything more than that, is when you need to take action and to treat it. I'm assuming you're losing more hair than 50, 60 strands. I think what's very important is to find out the reason for hair loss. If I remember correctly, your age is 34. Which means again you could be in the age bracket for androgenetic hair loss or for male pattern hair loss. If you are losing hair from the front, if your hairline is receding, and if you're losing hair mainly from the top of your scalp, it's likely that you have androgenetic alopecia. This type of alopecia, even though hereditary, can be treated. I would suggest that you consult a trichologist immediately who can assess the hair loss, identify it, and then help you to treat it accordingly.
Okay. So the next question that we have is from Mr. Mallikarjun Reddy from Hyderabad. He asks, how do I deal with my hair loss problem?
Okay, so Mr. Reddy from Hyderabad, good morning to you. I don't have your age, I don't have specifications, but again, I think the first thing is you've got to assess whether you're losing more hair than normal. That's the first thing you need to do. If you are losing more hair than normal, you definitely need to do something about it. Hair loss, like I mentioned, there are 40 different types. Most can be treated where you regrow your hair, but some can only be managed and controlled. So the faster you take your treatment and the faster you consult someone who can help you is when you can get help. There are a variety of treatments from instant to permanent. And what's important is to sit with a trichologist who can identify your type of hair loss and who can help you to develop a customized plan to see which of these treatments will help you the best.
Thank you. The next question comes from Mr. Gursharan Singh from Amritsar. His question is, I want to know more about hair transplant.
Okay, Mr. Singh, that's a good question. Hair transplant really is a very good way to get back some hair. Hair transplant can give you your hair back. I'd just like to explain a few things about hair transplant. The first is that there are 40 different types of hair loss, and hair transplant is a solution only for one of that type of hair loss, which is male pattern hair loss or female pattern hair loss. So if you are experiencing male or female pattern hair loss, hair transplant is a good solution for you. What's important is before you go for the transplant, you need to first take some treatment to stabilize your active hair loss. What happens in a transplant is, let's assume these are your natural hair, and you're going to transplant, take from the back of your scalp and add this much of the hair from the back of your scalp to the front. If you don't take treatment for your natural hair and you transplant your new hair, the new hair will never fall. But the hair that you have originally on your head, if they fall, you'll be left with the same result. So what's important is like money in a bank. If you want to have some savings, you've got to save as well as you've got to earn more and add to that kitty. So that's how really a hair transplant works. Hair transplant, as you know, in male pattern hair loss, men don't lose hair from the back. This hair never ever falls. This hair is not genetically programmed to fall. This hair is removed in a hair transplant and put in areas where you need to add that hair. So hair transplant is a very good option. We've been doing hair transplants for the past 7 years in India. We have 6 hair transplant studios. We get very good results. But again, what's important is you should first find out what is your type of hair loss. You should first control your active hair loss. see whether you're the right age group for a hair transplant, and then it could be a very effective solution for you.
Thank you, Dr. Akshay. Mr. Singh, let me also tell you that Dr. Akshay would be addressing hair transplant and many other questions in the upcoming webinar on 9th of June. So you can get the schedule of all the webinars on our website. I'll take on the next question. It's from Mr. Satyakam Mugali from Bengaluru. He says, can male pattern baldness be completely cured?
That's a good question. So I think male pattern baldness, we've got to first understand what is cure. Male pattern baldness can definitely be controlled if you treat it early. Male pattern baldness, you can definitely get some of your hair back. And with a hair transplant, again, is an effective solution for male pattern baldness. What's important is how old you are. What's important is to what extent have you lost hair. Male pattern baldness has 7 grades of baldness. In grade 1, you just start to lose hair. In grade 2, you start to have a little bit of a receding hairline. In grade 3, you start to also get a patch on your scalp. And of course, in grade 7, you're left with nothing but just that horseshoe at the back of your head. So hair treatments depend on the cause of your hair loss. They depend on how strong your genetic factors are. They depend on at what age you started baldness. And of course, they depend on how much hair you have left on your scalp. But let me assure you that there are some very effective solutions for treatment. There are some new treatments for male pattern baldness, such as stem cell and such as grow hair, which are also found to be very effective. And of course, like I mentioned, a hair transplant. There's also a very interesting thing called instant hair, which are hair fibers that you can use to cover up your bald patches. So with a combination of treatments, you can definitely get an answer to treat your male pattern baldness to your satisfaction.
Thank you, Dr. Akshay. The next question comes from Mr. Hitesh Datta from Ambala. He's a client with us. I'm taking homeopathy treatment and grow hair at Dr. Batra's clinic at Ambala, and I've got positive response. I want some of my hair should regrow.
So thank you, sir, for firstly choosing us to take care of your hair, and also I'm very happy to see that you're already getting some results. I think you've been taking treatment for a few months now, if I can recall. Is it mentioned how long the treatment's been taken?
No, that's not mentioned.
Okay, so usually I'm assuming you've taken treatment for a few months, and with the homeopathy, your hair loss has come under control. Usually hair treatments, the hair cycle. Hair has a cycle where hair grows, rests and falls. Everyone's hair has to go through that cycle. So every strand of hair will grow for a few years, then it will rest, post which it will fall. And once it falls, a new hair is supposed to come out from that hair follicle. Now, when this cycle gets imbalanced is when you start to lose hair. So either when you're losing more than you're growing, or when you're not growing enough and losing normal or slightly more than normal is when you start to bald. Hair treatment, like I said, the hair cycle lasts 3 to 7 years, and therefore hair treatments do take some time. You have to be patient with your treatment. You have to take it for a few months. Grow hair is a very good solution. Grow hair, we usually recommend at least 10 sessions to patients to see effective results. Like I mentioned, there's also stem cell. What I would request you to do is to talk to your local doctor and to see whether stem cell would help you to evaluate how many sessions you've taken your grow hair and what is your result. And since I have your details now, I will be happy to look into your case personally and to also advise the doctor as to what we can do to help you better.
Okay. Mr. Rohit Rathi from Gurgaon, his question is, I have a dandruff problem. Please share your suggestions to deal with it.
Okay, Mr. Rathi, thank you for the question. Dandruff again is a growing concern, and dandruff can be of various degrees. It can be from severe, it can be to moderate, it can also be mild. Usually mild dandruff, some anti-dandruff shampoos do help. I'm assuming you've tried those and are then asking me this question. Dandruff can also be caused because of certain skin conditions on your scalp. Severe dandruff is something called seborrheic dermatitis, and this would need treatment. Dandruff can be very embarrassing, as you know, because you start to have flakes all over your shirt and all over your jackets. As you know, there are so many Dare to Wear Black campaigns which challenge you to wear black clothes so that you can show that you don't have dandruff. So dandruff is a concern. I think what you can also do is oil your scalp, because oiling scalp with coconut oil particularly has tend to show relief with dandruff. If it still doesn't help, you will need to come into the clinic and you need to get treated, but you can try using coconut oil. Let me also tell you that oil does not help to grow your hair. That's a myth.
Oh.
But oil does help to condition your scalp. So conditioning scalp and conditioning your hair are the only benefits of oil, but growing your hair really does not happen if you continuously oil your hair.
Thank you, Dr. Akshay. That's a great tip for us. And let me also tell you that Dr. Akshay would be giving all of us some more tips on how to control hair fall. That would be by the end of the webinar, so stay tuned. I'll go on to the next question. Mr. Manoj Bhurke from Mumbai. His question is, what do I do about my graying hair?
Okay, Manojji, now I hope you're not 60 years old and have asked me this question, because if you are, there's nothing we can do to help. Graying can be helped if it's premature. Again, what's important is that graying can sometimes happen because of medical conditions. That's what we need to figure out. We've seen children as old as 12 and 15 and 18 years of age who actually have graying of hair. And this happens because of thyroid conditions. This happens because of low vitamin B12 levels. So understanding the cause, looking at the age of the patient, we can help with the graying. Graying also is hereditary. So sometimes in families, you can tend to gray early. We can somewhat help with that, but really graying can be treated if you're young and if you have an underlying medical condition that's causing your graying. If that's not the case, if you're, say, middle-aged, I would recommend using a hair color. Using a safe and natural product is important. Henna would be the safest color to use. I know it's not always the most easy on the eyes and people don't prefer it because it gives you that definitive red color. Right. However, using an ammonia-free hair color would be the next best option.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Akshay. The next one comes from Shweta Gupta Wow from Dubai. So the question is, I'm suffering from hair loss and I'm taking treatment for the last 3 months. What more can I do to regrow my hair?
Okay, Shweta ji from Dubai, firstly, thank you for logging in across international borders. It's good to have you. You have been taking treatment for 3 months. I think the first thing you need to assess is your hair loss now under control after 3 months? It should take about 3 to 4 months to bring hair loss under control with good treatment. If your hair loss is under control with in the 3 or 4 months period after taking treatment, you're on the right track. I think what you need to do now is you need to continue with the treatment. You need to treat your underlying causes. You need to look out for whether you have anemia, whether you have thyroid, whether you have polycystic ovaries. These are the 3 most common conditions in women that cause excessive hair loss and early hair loss. Post which, after taking your treatment, once you eliminate these conditions, you can also look at treatments such as stem cell and grow hair. These are innovative treatments that we've brought into India from international markets. And these actually help in some cases to even regrow your hair and definitely to control hair loss even further. So for example, with stem cell treatment, which is a treatment we have from South Korea, it's 10 sittings, 1 sitting every week. And we've just done some in-house studies which show that about 70% of patients have actually regrown some of the hair after this treatment, which is phenomenal. So therefore, I would suggest you wait for a few months more and then evaluate with your doctor the benefits of taking stem cell or taking grow hair as treatment options for yourself.
That's really interesting, Shweta. Stem cell is the route probably you should take. Let me go on to the next question. Manoranjan Haldar from Kolkata. His question is, my wife is suffering from baldness. Please advise to help her overcome from this problem.
Okay, Manojji, thank you for your question. Your wife is suffering from baldness. I think again what's important is we have to diagnose what type of baldness is she suffering from. There are 40 different types of hair loss. Each have their own causes and definitely each have their own treatment. So therefore, it's important to know what exactly is the type of hair loss so that we can treat it accordingly. I would recommend and suggest that you visit one of our clinics where our doctors can do a thorough analysis with a computerized machine that we have, which can look at your wife's hair, which can magnify it, which can help us to tell us the condition of her scalp and what type of hair loss she's suffering from, post which we can definitely help you. Also, we might have to conduct some tests on her to rule out some of these medical conditions. but definitely we should be able to help her with her hair loss.
Thank you, Dr. Akshay. The next one comes from Anjali Chhari. The question is, I've been suffering from patchy as well as generalized hair loss, diagnosed recently with diffused alopecia areata. What are the options available for me?
Okay, this is an interesting one. Like I mentioned, alopecia areata is a condition where you can lose hair from all over your scalp. You can lose hair in patches. You can lose hair from all over your body, actually. I'm assuming this is still controlled because you have it only on your scalp. As far as I can understand from your question, this is an autoimmune condition. Stress plays a very important role in alopecia areata. Therefore, you need to also figure out, we need to understand your stress levels. We need to recommend and also to treat them so that your response to the stress can change. Homeopathy has excellent treatment for alopecia areata. It has excellent treatment for stress-related hair loss because it cannot alter your stress levels, but it can alter your response to that stress. The other treatment options for you, of course, are allopathy, wherein you can try local steroids, you can try steroid injections. Some of these have known to work. However, they do come with side effects and they come with a very high rate of relapse. We conducted a study internally on about 1,000 patients a few years ago, and we measured the difference in treatment versus allopathy and homeopathy. We found that homeopathy and certain allopathy treatments gave similar results, which were about 85% in alopecia areata. But what was very interesting and came across as a big finding was that in allopathy, the relapse rate was as high as 50%. Wow. And with homeopathy, the relapse rate was only 9%. And alopecia areata is a condition which actually dermatologists across the world will never term as cured. They only term as remission, because relapses are known to occur very frequently. And as you can see with homeopathy, those relapses have been less. So I think what's important is, again, get yourself analyzed correctly, understand the cause of your hair loss. Again, thyroid and anemia can contribute to this, so can stress. So get the underlying causes treated. And like I mentioned, the good thing about alopecia areata or patchy hair loss is that all your hair can come back because there is no damage to the hair follicle. And therefore, potentially with the right treatment, you could have all your hair back very soon.
Looks like homeopathy is the way to go, at least for me. Just wanted to ask you something. Since you mentioned stress is one of the major causes for hair loss, does Dr. Batras also have something specific for stress?
So I think in homeopathy, because we primarily work in homeopathy and we're known for homeopathy. In homeopathy, as you know, you take a detailed history of the patient. It's individualized and personalized medicine. So when a patient comes in, even for hair loss, you could give different remedies to 5 patients for the same problem because that remedy is individualized. So that's where individualization comes in, bespoke medicine comes in, it's tailor-made for the patient, and which is why, of course, stress levels are taken into account, what you eat is taken into account, your dietary habits, the way you respond to things. So it's a personalized history, and remedies are then given based on that personalization.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Akshay. So the next question comes from Mohit Sharma. His question is, I am 22 and I'm experiencing hair fall. I oil my hair every alternate day and use a shampoo and conditioner regularly. Is there a way to reduce hair fall as I am young?
So I'm assuming, I don't know whether this is Mohit Sharma, the cricketer. There is a cricketer by that name. No, that's just a joke. So Mohit, you're 22 years old and you're losing hair. I think what's very important at that age is first your diet. So you've got to figure out, are you eating enough nutritious foods? We find a lot of hair loss in children or students at that age who've gone out of their house to study. Firstly, the water there does not agree and can cause hair loss. Secondly, of course, the diet, because the people who study out don't have access to good food. They go onto the fast food. They don't regulate their timings because their mothers are not allowed to feed them on time. Yeah. So these are things that clearly affect the hair fall. Also, Mohit, you need to understand whether you have hereditary hair loss, because is there anybody in the family, either the father's or the mother's side, who has this kind of hair loss? What's most important, Mohit, is that you understand your type of hair loss and start some treatment quickly, because you are young. With quick treatment, you can actually save your hair and you can keep it. I ask patients a very simple question when I meet them. I say that 2 years ago, did you have more hair than you do today? And the answer is always yes. And my next suggestion to them is, or my next question is, what if you had started your treatment 2 years ago? You would have been much better off.
Right.
So therefore, quick treatment for hair loss is very important. We find a lot of young people nowadays, girls and boys both, suffering from hair loss. Girls, of course, because of hormones, polycystic ovaries, iron, crash dieting. And boys also because I think today lifestyles have changed, dietary habits have changed. Young people nowadays also use a lot of product on their hair, which can actually accentuate your hair loss. So I know you want to look cool, you want to gel your hair, you want to color it, you want to spike it. We see young people of all age groups with different colored hair nowadays.
Right.
So I think it's important that you refrain from chemical treatments. Try to keep your hair as natural as possible. Eat a healthy diet. And if still you find hair loss, treat it as quickly as possible.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Akshay. The next question comes from Sonal. Her question is, what is the scope of homeopathic medication when integrated with modern treatments?
That's an excellent question. I think the question really is whether homeopathy can be integrated with any other treatment or not, and what are the options. So we started off Dr. Batra's as a homeopathy center, homeopathy clinic. When I graduated my trichology, I came back and actually had to, cajole my doctors to start using other treatments because they did not, they believed in homeopathy, and they still do, and they weren't aware of the benefits of all the other treatment.
Okay.
So now, particularly for hair, we have an integrated treatment approach at Dr. Batra's, which I think is very important because the world is moving towards integrated medicine, and the answer is not which pathy is better, but the answer is that which treatment is better for you. So as a patient, you might find you need only a hair transplant.
Right.
You might find you need a hair transplant along with homeopathy to keep your existing hair if you have some. You might find you need homeopathy as a base, and then you want to add stem cell. In many questions that we've been asked, patients have been taking grow hair and stem cell to increase the pace and to increase the benefit. So really, the answer is homeopathy has a very important role to play for two reasons. Firstly, it's personalized, and secondly, it has been proven internationally in many, many drug trials to actually help many different types of hair loss without any side effects. And that is why people are choosing homeopathy today. And to add to that, our doctors can actually sit with you and then tailor make a treatment plan for you, which can start with homeopathy and then can add other treatments such as grow hair, such as stem cell, which are therapeutic treatments, which are technological breakthroughs in the field of hair, to hair transplants, to instant hair, and also very important to the type of products that you use for your hair. So all of this is integrated together to form an individual bespoke treatment plan for the patient to give him the best result.
That's beautiful. So homeopathy with no side effects, which means it's absolutely safe. So the next question comes from Gaurav Kumar Sahai. His question is, when should baldness be treated after the beginning of hair fall and dandruff problems? I have this problem since 4 years. What is the best time to start treatment?
I'm sorry I didn't get the name of the Gaurav.
Gaurav
right?
Kumar.
Yeah. Gaurav Kumar, the best time to start treatment would have been 4 years ago. But the saying like better late than never. So the best time clearly is now. You've been losing hair for 4 years. That's a long time to lose hair. Remember that in many, like I said, in many types of hair loss, you can only regrow some of your hair. You can manage your hair better. You might not be able to regrow all of it in some particular types of hair loss. In some you can. Therefore, I think you've asked a very good question. And the learning from this question is that if you're losing hair, which is not coming under control by, changing your shampoo, which is not coming under control by having a better diet, you need to immediately consult a trichologist who can identify your type of hair loss, identify the reason for your hair loss. Remember that hair loss is almost always medical, it's not cosmetic. And that's the big mind shift that I would like to make with patients in this, or people in this country. If they start realizing that hair loss is medical, they'll start attending to it and start doing things about it. Hair actually is a sign of so many underlying ailments. As a trichologist, I see a patient, look at his hair, and I can tell whether the patient or her hair and look whether the patient has anemia, has thyroid, because the characteristics of the hair change depending on the type of underlying condition you have.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So it's a sign of internal health for me. And by looking at hair, I can do that. And if patients can understand that hair loss is more medical than cosmetic, I think we'll have a sea change, and we'll probably have, be able to treat it faster and therefore have better results.
Thank you, Dr. Akshay. The next one comes from Richard Rogers. Does extensive use of shampoo, conditioner and other chemical products result in acceleration of hair fall?
Richard Rogers, the name actually was one of my teachers at the Trichological Society of London. Oh. So I hope it's not him asking me a question. I'm sure it's not. The question is really, do shampoos and conditioners play a role in accentuating your hair loss?
Right.
If you have a predisposed condition where you have a male pattern hair loss, or you have a telogen effluvium, shampoos, conditioners, chemical treatments can definitely accentuate it. I cannot name the brand, of course, but there are lots of dandruff brands which actually lose your hair, which make hair fall. And there are jokes about it in the medical circle, that your hair actually falls off when you're taking anti-dandruff shampoos because they're very strong. Also, what's important is that many shampoos don't match the pH balance of the scalp. Our skin and our scalp have a pH balance. And selecting a shampoo that's closest to the pH balance is very good. I don't mean to solicit here, but our shampoo is the one that we match to the pH balance of the scalp. And if you want to try other shampoos, of course, you can try baby shampoos. They're also safer and good enough. Natural products for your hair, shampoo and conditioners that are safe, ammonia-free dyes, no chemical treatments. I think all these are very important to help you to not accentuate your hair loss. And also while treating your hair loss, what's very important is that you stick to these rules so that you get better treatment results.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Akshay. The next question comes from Mr. Asit. His question is, my age is 47 years. I have very thin hair on the head, almost bald in the head, front side, but in back side there have comparatively better conditions. My health is very good, but I have BP. So he has high BP. What can he do?
Mr. Asit, you're 47 years old. You seem to be suffering from male pattern hair loss. You mentioned that all your hair from the back of the scalp is still there. However, you've lost in the front, but you still do have some on the top. I would say you're a perfect candidate for a hair transplant. And you should definitely consult a good hair transplant surgeon. While we're going to have a webinar on hair transplants later, since the question is brought up, I'll just touch a little upon it. I always say that getting a hair transplant is like stitching a suit, because you can stitch it with a great designer who can give you a great cut and make you look slim and tall and fashionable, or you can stitch it from a local tailor who can give you a suit but which will not make you look as good.
Absolutely.
So a hair transplant is a science, but more of an art, because the hair transplant surgeon needs to design your hairline to see what would look the best for you. You're 47 now, that hair will remain for the rest of your life. So a good hair transplant surgeon will think about how you look good at 47 with a hair transplant, as well as at 65 when the same hair is on your head. So the hairline has to be designed very artistically. It has to look natural, which is why a good hair transplant surgeon is very important. But a hair transplant can be a very good answer for you. You also mentioned you have some hair on your scalp even now. And I think taking treatment to keep that hair is also important, so that along with the transplanted hair and your natural hair, which is kept with medication, you will get some good results. Do remember that hair transplant is a solution only for male pattern hair loss. It also has some limitations, because if you've balded a lot, if you're in the 7th grade of hair loss and you've lost all this hair and you have only this much left, a transplant cannot substitute for all that you've lost.
Right.
So you can take out some hair and recreate, a new hairline, but you might not be able to get all your hair back. So sit with a surgeon who can design the hairline for you, who can tell you exactly how much hair he can put. In a good session, what we do, we can transplant about 5,000 to 6,000 hair in one shot. Again, I would recommend always think of a transplant for the frontal area, because that's the area that people see you more at, and don't worry too much about the crown because that usually tends to get hidden. So these are my suggestions for you. I hope they're useful.
Thank you. So hair transplant is an artistic job. The next question comes from Gaurav Singh. His question is, I am suffering through major hair loss due to excessive sebum secretion. What should I do in order to reduce it?
So Gaurav, I think you've understood that you have excessive sebum secretion, and which is why you're losing hair. Let me just make the correlation here so you understand it even better. Sebum is also a product of testosterone, and testosterone is what causes you to lose hair. So it's linked. So your sebum secretion and your hair loss are linked. Again, you need to diagnose what kind of hair loss you have. It can be treated. Your hair loss can be treated. Your excessive sebum secretion can also be treated through homeopathy. You should, of course, take treatment, which is really the answer for you. But I can also suggest that you should wash your hair at least once a day. Very often people get scared to shampoo their hair very often.
Right.
Because they say that अगर मैं shampoo करूँगा तो मेरे बाल ज़्यादा गिरेंगे, I'll lose more hair. That's not true. You are going to lose how much you're losing. If you're losing 50 strands a day, you shampoo every day, you lose 50 strands. If you shampoo in 2 days, you lose 100. If you shampoo in 4 days, you lose 200. So it's a mathematical calculation. So if you don't shampoo your hair for 4 days and lose 200 strands, you'll say, oh God, I'm losing a lot of hair.
Right.
But that may not be really true. So if you have excessive sebum, wash your hair every day, shampoo it every day. But like I said, use a natural, mild shampoo, especially one that matches the pH balance of your skin.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Akshay. The next question is from Natasha Mehta. Her question is, how do I prevent hair fall, especially in extreme climatic conditions?
Okay, Natasha, extreme climatic conditions can sometimes play a role in hair loss. I remember coming across an article in the Gulf where the heat in the Gulf does cause a lot of hair loss, and people lose hair because of the heat and the water. And as you know, there are excessive fluctuations there where it's very cold in the winters, and even at nights and the summers and the days tend to get very warm. I think what you can do is again follow a good hair care regime, which is what you can do. You can wash your hair regularly, especially if it's hot in the summers. You should wash your hair. I know it's not easy for women to wash their hair because it's long, it takes time to dry, but washing your hair at least twice a week, if not 3 times a week, is what I would recommend in the summers. Using a mild shampoo is what I would recommend. Watching your diet is what I would recommend. And if all this doesn't work, definitely treatment is something that you should look for.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Akshay. The next question comes from Siddharth. Hi, hair thinning is a very common problem seen, and one of the reasons because of water that we use. Is there any way to prevent your hair from thinning in such conditions?
So, we know many patients who worry about their hair fall when they move location. That is a problem. Many of them actually turn to washing the hair with mineral water, which may not be a very good solution. May not be very good, and of course certainly is very expensive.
Right.
I think the answer again is to protect your hair with treatment so that your hair roots become stronger and the effect of the water doesn't really, affect your hair that much. Water, while it can accentuate hair loss, is not a cause.
Okay.
And therefore again we have to find out the cause of your hair loss, treat the cause, strengthen your roots so that the water really doesn't affect you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Akshay. The next question is from Pranay Jain. His question is, how to know one has seborrheic dermatitis and how to treat it when you are only 21? I've also had severe acne at one stage.
So Pranay, again, good question. You're 21 years old. I think seborrheic dermatitis, let me first explain what it is. It is a spectrum of dandruff. So when you have mild form, it's called dandruff, and in the severe form, it's called seborrheic dermatitis. Seborrheic dermatitis can cause hair loss for you. It needs to be treated. How you can confirm whether you have seborrheic dermatitis is just walk into any one of our clinics. We have a machine called the Woods lamp. The Woods lamp is a fluorescent light. Of course, it has no side effects. It's only a diagnostic tool. And the doctor puts it on your head and looks at the color of your skin in that light. And if you have seborrheic dermatitis, the color shines a particular color. which is when you can identify in about 10 seconds whether you have seborrheic dermatitis or not.
Wow.
So that's one thing that you can do to confirm the diagnosis. Seborrheic dermatitis, you mentioned you had acne. Again, let me state, like sebum, seborrheic dermatitis also comes from the word sebum. And seborrhea or seborrheic dermatitis also is caused because of testosterone.
Okay.
So therefore, testosterone gives rise to hair loss, gives rise to seborrheic dermatitis, gives rise to excessive sebum. And therefore, you need to treat it. You need to figure out how we can treat it. Like I said, visit one of our clinics, please. We'll be happy to diagnose it for you and then to tell you all the various treatment options that we have.
Oh, thank you. We have tons of questions coming up, but I have a question too. Can I take an opportunity to ask you something for myself? So I'm really particular about my hair. I take care of it regularly, and I do all that it takes, like coconut oil, etc., that we thought that would help to at least grow your hair. But now I got that it's basically a good conditioner. I go to the salon, I do all sorts of treatments that are like recently launched, but I still lose a lot of hair. Why?
The first thing is what you've done is today is what we call a curb consultation. Because when you catch the doctor at the curb and say, what can you do for me? We get asked very often when we go out at dinners or movies that, can you just help me? So this is what you did exactly. That's a curb consultation. I think the question is valid and it's relevant to a lot of people. Like I mentioned, hair loss is not cosmetic. And if you try all your cosmetic answers, you're still losing hair, you've got to find out what's the underlying medical condition. We've got to evaluate you. We've got to do our video, a computerized hair test on you to see what type of hair loss you have, how thick are your hair roots, what's the condition of your scalp, whether these factors are causing your hair to fall. We've then also got to give you some diagnostic tests to check for certain health parameters, post which I'm definite that we can treat your hair loss. So in about this 9th webinar from today, I'd like to see your hair much longer.
Thank you, Dr. Akshay. We have tons of questions coming up. As promised, we would try and answer as much, but really sorry we can't answer too much because it's just 11 to 12 seminar. But as promised, we will answer every question individually, which will be personally supervised by Dr. Akshay. So let the questions come in. Before we end the webinar, we had promised you that Dr. Akshay would give us some tips on how we can control hair fall. So some tips from you now.
I think the first thing to do is to look at your diet, because you are what you eat. I can give you an example of how diet plays a role in hair. Okay, patients who are undergoing chemotherapy, they lose hair extremely quickly. Why does that happen? That happens because chemotherapy targets fast-growing cancer cells. Hair is the fastest growing natural cell in the body. And because of that, when you attack the cancer cells with chemo, you're also attacking the hair. Now, why I'm making this example is that because hair cells divide and they grow so fast, they need nutrition. The first thing when you cut off nutrition is you start to lose hair. You will find many people who have lost weight with crash dieting, the fast way. Losing weight is a good thing. It can be medically managed to see that you don't have any of these effects. But when you try to lose weight the fast way, you do tend to lose hair, if not immediately, over a period of time, but it does happen. So control your diet. A balanced diet is very important. Iron and protein are the two most important things for hair. Iron can come in the form of meat for non-vegetarians. It can come in the form of dates, not the kind you go on with people, but the kind you eat, the dark black dates that you eat. So that gives you a lot of iron. Protein can of course come in the form of non-vegetarian. Again, it can come in the form of pulses for people who don't eat meat. So controlling your diet is very important. There's certain things also that are good for your hair. Soya is good for your hair, particularly for pattern hair loss, because soya brings down your DHT levels, which is what causes hair loss, hormonal levels. Green tea again is very good. So green tea and soya in moderation are good for your hair, and that's something that you should take. I think the second is, of course, to take care of your hair well, because if you look after it well, you nurture it well, it will be good for you, it will be good to you. Try to avoid chemical procedures in the parlors. We hear of these Brazilian treatments, and we hear of these straightening, and we hear of the chemical treatments that can bond your hair. Stay away from them. Stay away from irons to straighten your hair. Like I said, if you're good to your hair, treat it well, it will be good to you. Try to use a product that's natural, or try to use a product that matches the pH balance of your scalp. Another simple thing is when you're washing your hair, always remember that hair can tend to break when it is wet, because when it is wet it can stretch, and when you stretch it can reach its breaking point easily. Therefore, always remember, firstly, towel dry your hair. Try to avoid a hair dryer. If you are using a hair dryer, use it at low heat and use it at least 6 inches away from your scalp. That will prevent the damage to your hair. There are lots of cases of chemical breakage of hair because of hair dryers, and that's something you want to avoid. And like I said, hair can stretch and break when it's wet, and therefore towel dry your hair and comb it when it's semi-dry. I know it's always easier to comb your hair when it's wet, but that's actually bad and detrimental for your hair. So comb your hair when it's semi-dry, and that will be good for you. Of course, like I said, and I always say, hair loss is medical, and therefore while you are doing these things which are good hygiene habits for your hair, do not rely on them to treat. Do not rely on them for results. If you're losing hair, please consult a trichologist. Like we've seen in this webinar, there are many people who wait for 2, 3, 4 years. Waiting is really not a good thing as far as your hair is concerned. You can get much easier, quicker, faster, cheaper treatments if you actually start taking treatment early. That's my message.
So what I take on from here is you need to be partnership. You need to be in partnership with your hair. You treat it and it treats you back well. So thank you, Dr. Akshay. Thank you for being on this webinar and logging in today. Just wanted to tell you about the next webinar that's coming in, which is going to be on the 28th of April. That's going to be on child care. That's a Thursday. It will be 11 to 12 session. We look forward to more interactive webinars. As we said, we provide health solutions at your fingertips. Any last few words that we can have from you?
My last few words is that we've probably received tons of questions today. I can see the count has gone up to about 400. We will make sure that we answer all your questions personally. So just give us a few hours, and hopefully within 48 to say 72 hours, we'll try to see that your questions are answered personally and sent to you on your email ID. I know you have come in for this webinar. I'm very touched by that, and I'll make sure that all the answers are particularly supervised by me, by my team of doctors, so that you can get help from all the questions you asked. Stay healthy, stay happy, and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.